What's cracking, everyone? My name is Ryan, aka Skeeb23, and this is my audio and tech channel. Today we are going to talk about earbuds. Not just any earbuds though. These are the new Beyerdynamic FREE True Wireless Earbuds. Yes, Beyer has finally ditched the wire here, folks. Now, I will be referring to these as the bird, not that I'm giving you the bird, but the bird is the word. Alright. So first of all, these retail in at $249 in the US. Now these do come in two color choices, a black and then a white with a black stripe. Now these are true wireless earbuds, which means they completely run off a battery and they are Bluetooth. They also include ANC as well as some other things we'll get into. So in the box, you will get a charging case, which is a bit on the taller side, as well as a nice ear tip assortment. Now, what I like here is you get all sizes of silicone tips as well as 3 sizes of foam tips. Also included is the charging cable via USB-C and some documentation on the ear tips in the case, which I will show you here. All right, so on a side note, I was happy to see this simple identification card because honestly, when I opened the box, the ear tips kind of spilled out inside the box, so I was able to quickly identify the size and, get them organized and put back the way they were supposed to be. All right, so now we're gonna get into some technical specification. Now, these weigh in at just 7 grams per earphone. They have a total frequency response of 10 hertz all the way up to 22 kilohertz. They have quite a few different supported Bluetooth profiles, and currently it's on version 5.2. The codecs are the aptX adaptive as well as AAC and SBC. The case weighs in at 60 grams and is mostly made of plastic as well as the earbuds. Now on a side note, they do pick up fingerprints pretty easy even though it is a matte type finish. Battery runtime is said to go to 11 hours and you can quickly get a charge out of this. For about 10 minutes time, it'll get you about an hour. Also, the case has QI for wireless charging. Lastly, you can update the firmware by downloading the MIY app. I did this right away and it worked flawlessly. I will discuss more on the app in a bit. And now as far as build and comfort goes, here's my experience on that. The build is solid. Yes, it is plastic, but it's a nice, solid, and sturdy plastic. The case is also the same. One thing to point out that, with the lid closed in the case, you do get some play on the latch. So you can hear that. That is with the lid closed. Now, when you open up the lid, the play kind of goes away. Yeah, no play there at all. Now, this honestly did not bother me. I think it's just the build of the latch mechanism on the device and nothing really to worry about, though, it may bother some of you. Now the earphones, they're quite large. I noticed this right away when I put them in my ears. I felt like Shrek from the movie Shrek, to be honest. Donkey! That's good news, in that they are comfortable to me with the silicone tips and I had no fitting issue of getting a seal. Because they are large in size, I was worried at first on how they would, stay in my ears, but I'm happy to report that I've used them for several hours and also while moving around quite a bit with never an issue of falling out. And I'll take this second here to kind of show you. So, earbuds. And they just slide right in. And yeah, I heard the audible beep that they hooked right up to my phone. This is how they look as I'm sitting here, as well as probably some video that I'm popping up to kind of give you an idea of this look. So other than the large and odd sticking out of the earbuds, the build and comfort is solid. So how do they sound? Well, I have one word to give you an idea: bass. These do extend. They are rated as low as 10 hertz for the frequency response, and I can report they definitely extend under 20. I sampled plenty of bass-heavy tracks to confirm this. One popular track among the community that was suggested to me was the song Chameleon by Trent Muller. This song really goes down low around the 31-second mark and has plenty of extension with the bird. Then around the 550 mark really hits some, thumping energy and was just an interesting thing to hear. I felt like I was back in my teen years, honestly, feeling that bass in my chest. Very impressive for earbuds. I played some other tracks to sample the bass, but what I found is that this extension moved into the lower mids as well. So kick drums, bass guitars, hell, even tubas and the like sounded meaty here. I did find the bass to, at times to be slightly muddy and kind of muddy things up. That is due to the next part, which I will discuss, and that is the mid-range. So this is where things get interesting with the Byrd. There is a definite lack of mid-range around the 1 to 2K mark of the frequency here. Vocals are a bit pushed back and almost sound thin at times. Voices like Norah Jones and Adele are not so much in your ear that you would expect. Also, Norah Jones can be somewhat shouty at times, and because of the pushback nature, I didn't get that with the Byrd, typically. So for that reason, I would not say these are a vocal-focused earbud, and more on that later. Now the rest of the mid-range really depends on the bass. You do feel drums hit at times and snares will snap. A lot of that can be attributed to the bass of this. So I found some rock music and especially EDM, hip hop, electronic, really any music with some energy to be engaging. And then moving on to the treble, we get that Beyerdynamic sound we've all come to either love or hate, and that is sibilance. Now, I'm happy to report that I don't find it to be quite as bad as other Beyers that I've heard. Now, I'll admit, I had to dig in for this one. The first dozen or so tracks I played, I didn't really get any sibilance. When I went looking for it though, I found it, and I'll cover that now. I had someone ask me how these sounded on metal music, so I played a few tracks and I was okay with it. Then I sampled a track of Slipknot called Unsainted, and this track, Corey Taylor definitely had some sibilance in his voice, so sample that track and you'll kind of see what I mean. Then I moved on to more tracks with sibilance. The song Wolves by Selena Gomez, no, just no. I couldn't do it with the Byrd. Lastly, I went over to YouTube and I watched a couple of videos from Bad Seed Tech. Now, Brian does have some sibilance in his voice and definitely showed up on the Byrd. By the way, Bad Seed Tech, thank you, Brian, for making some kick-ass content that you put out. So, basically what I found was that when tracks were said to be normally sibilant, it was not tamed on the Byrd. However, tracks that normally were not were typically okay. I'll quickly let you know that imaging and stage were decent enough for the Byrd as well. Imaging more so than stage, I would say. I did find them a bit lacking in dynamic range. Now, soft and loud tones were noticeable for sure, but just not as much as some of my hi-fi headphones in comparison. Beyerdynamics do advertise gaming with these earbuds, and I would imagine it's a fun experience. I tried it, but to be honest, I just don't enjoy mobile gaming. So I didn't test this too much because you do get that pulsating and fun bass, then a somewhat peaky treble. I could definitely see these being fun to game with. Now, if you're lucky enough to own a Steam Deck, please let me know if you experienced this, should you try it. Now, one last thing is a quick comparison. I haven't owned many True Wireless Earbuds in my life, but I do currently own the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus. Now, I've enjoyed them, but only if I use the dynamic EQ setting. Otherwise, they are just kind of, lifeless, and they don't really do much for me. They do blend into my ear and are much more constrained in the look department, which, I'll show you that just so you kind of get an idea. So I'm gonna put Galaxy Bud in one ear, and my phone's gonna go all kinds of crazy with me doing this, but yeah, so little bit of a difference there, right? All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, but first go over a pros and cons listing. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the cons first. The bulkiness of the earbuds. Now, to me, this is a con just because they do protrude out of your ears pretty noticeable. So much that for shits and giggles, I have my wife and son even put them on. Now, I have large ears and they do not, as you can see. My Shrek family concurred, they are big. All right, so then second con to me here would be the touch functions. Now, my Galaxy Buds touch function is also frustrating, so this could just be an earbud thing in general. I'm sure in time I'll get better with it, but there are plenty of times, I'm trying to either skip a track and I instead turn on the ANC or turn off the ANC. Other times, I may accidentally bump the volume up or down when I'm trying to skip a track or just do something different. So kind of get it, the touch function, a little tricky to get used to. And then lastly is the obvious Beyer sibilance is here yet again. Now, it's not my favorite sound, but I can tolerate it overall. The S sound here is almost like a hiss type of sound from a snake, if that makes sense. Still, it doesn't always happen, and I suppose to add on to that, I will say, as I said earlier, this is not a vocal-focused earbud, so if you are a fan of vocal-focused music, this may not be for you. All right, now to the pros. And thankfully, the pros outweigh the cons for me. Build quality and comfort. Yes, they stick out far, but they are still comfortable and built solid. I'm still holding out for an earbud that comes with a rubberized case just in case I drop them, but still, I'm okay with this build. The technical stuff is another pro. You can use a feature on the app to test your hearing, and then it will use that setup to do an EQ for you. Now this actually doesn't sound good to me. However, I am putting it on a pro because it's a unique feature to which I have talked to other owners of this. They did that, they found the EQ to work for them. Also, the Bluetooth worked flawlessly on both my Android-based Samsung phone as well as my Windows laptop. The ANC function also works really well, and I am a fan of the different setups here for the ANC. Now then there's the bass. That bass is nice. It's nice in the fact that because it extends so well and has a decent range that you can get some energy from your music. Now to me, being an earbud, this is important. I mean, if you're using an earbud to take walks, runs, or work out, then what better way than to throw on some energetic tracks to make you want to move? Now I personally experienced this and enjoyed that quite a bit. And then finally the price. At $249, it's pretty competitive. I'm okay with the price, to be honest. You get quality from it after all. So I have absolutely enjoyed my time with the Byrd. These are thankfully going to replace my Galaxy Buds. Sorry guys. When I bought them, it was truly a blind buy because I was intrigued by Beyer making their first earbud. Well, I'm happy with my purchase, and I want to express my thumbs up to Beyerdynamics on a successful entry into the earbud space. So that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions about the Byrd, please drop me a comment down below. Drop me a comment regardless, as I like to engage with all of you out there. While you're at it, smash that like button if you like this video, and subscribe for future content on the channel. I would appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I hope all of you enjoy doing, whatever it is that you do, and I will see you in the next one.